Three things that silently destroy a person's life. If you want to succeed, you must eliminate them immediately. 1. The lack of emotional control. Harvard University president Lawrence Bacow grew up in a wealthy and pampered family. He told a story from his childhood when he was in middle school and participated in the Boy Scouts program. On the very first day, Bacow realized he could not endure the harsh training of the Boy Scouts. He cried and wanted to quit, but he realized that complaining and crying were useless. Bacow adjusted his emotions, gritted his teeth, and pushed through the training. As a result, after 2 months, the young Bacow completed the training with outstanding results. Releasing emotions at any time is an instinct, but knowing how to restrain oneself is a skill. 2. A preference for short-term pleasure. On the Zhifu Forum, a Chinese Q&A platform, there was a discussion. What things should young people not touch? The most upvoted answer was, things that bring short-term pleasure. These cheap, short-term pleasures cause our brains to continuously release reward hormones, which then corrode our thoughts and weaken our ability to act. The famous Chinese consultant Lai Song White shared the case of a young man who was exhausted after a stressful period of studying for graduate school. He decided to take a few days off to adjust his spirits and relax his mind. His plan was to catch up on sleep for 2 days, travel with friends, and finally go home to his parents. But just before setting off, he discovered an interesting online game. He got hooked, skipping the trip and the visit home to stay up all night playing the game. He originally intended to play for just 2 more days before returning to his studies, but due to sleep deprivation, he found it difficult to return to his original state. People with low levels of happiness prefer to waste time achieving temporary pleasure, while those with high levels of happiness prefer to gain knowledge rather than just relax and be entertained. 3. Being trapped in a low cognition circle. The CEO of the Chinese mobile internet company Cheetah Mobile, Fu Song, once said, "Cognition is almost the only fundamental difference between people. The competition between people is, ultimately, about the gap in cognition." A person with low cognition is like a frog at the bottom of a well, never able to see the complete sky. A person with high cognition dares to try and dares to make mistakes, willing to change to find their own path. The German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer said, "The biggest prison in the world is the human mind. What holds you back is never your ability, but your fixed mindset."